Yeah, right. Amy's like, oh no, you know what? I just got a really important call.
I love it. Alrighty, we are ready when you are. I guess I'm starting you a little early. I started your recording.
It's Delaney. Oh, we're recording this?
Yeah. We can see if we can chop it.
That is, oh, don't worry about it. All right.
Calling her.
So, what?
She heard you calling her. She's like,
oh, Delaney. I do love that dog. My favorite was the backyard yoga when I was starting the class and Delaney is scooting her tush across in between all the yoga students as I'm trying to make, you know, everything's very centered and serious and she's just rubbing her butt. I'm like, that's great, thank you. All right, so do you all have a strap, a blanket, and a couple of blocks? I'm not sure we'll get to all of them, but it could be handy depending on where we go this evening. If you have a strap, please make sure it is available towards the top of your mat within arm's reach. We will begin on our backs this evening, but I'd like to minimize everyone having to roll around and grab props. So just a little heads up in the beginning there. And then when you're ready, meet me on your back, coming into the constructive rest position, having your feet planted on the mat. Take the feet as wide as your sticky mat, but make sure your feet are not super far forward or too close into you. Find that sweet spot with the ankles right under the knees, and then drop the knees in towards one another to find a more comfortable neutral position in the spine. The arms can rest at your sides like Shavasana with the palms up. If you need a little shoulder opening, the cactus position, bending at the elbows, settling the arms onto your mat. Or if you need a little more introspection this evening, I'd like to invite you to take your left hand to your heart center and your right hand to your low belly. Whichever position calls to you, settle into it. And we'll find this shape for about the first minute or so of class. Slowing down the breath, the body, and giving yourself this time to bring your awareness onto your mat, into your space around you, and connected to the breath. Slow, steady inhales and exhales through the nose. Try not to change the rhythm, the length. Just observe your natural breath. As you feel yourself start to slow down and relax from your busy Monday, pay attention to the body that you brought to your mat this evening. Where do you feel areas of tension, tightness, or pain? Allow yourself to adjust, to fidget, to find a more comfortable place. Or if you are comfortable where you are, imagine sending your breath into those places where you need to gently open up and create space. And then from there, for our last several breaths here, just do a quick scan and notice how you placed yourself on your mat. Do you feel your weight more to the left or to the right? Is one foot pointing out to one direction more than the other? Do you feel that there's a lot of space under your low back between the mat and you? How are the shoulders? Do you feel one shoulder blade underneath you more than the other? Starting to break down these small little connections to the body, becoming more aware and mindful about how we place ourselves onto our mat. For the last few breaths here, enjoy feeling connected to your inner self. And if you'd like to set an intention for your practice, please feel free to do so before we begin to move. Slowly begin to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, rock your head side to side to ease some tension out of the neck. On an inhale, guide your knees into the chest, wrap the arms around your shins, give yourself a lovely hug, drawing the knees in, allowing the tailbone to lift or to drop towards the floor. Rock gently right and left a couple of times. Then replant your feet now hip distance. On an inhale, bring the right knee into the chest, right ankle sets across the left knee. Flex your right foot, toes up to the sky. Inhale again, draw the knees into your chest, threading the right hand, in between the legs, holding on to the hamstrings or around the shin, whichever position is most comfortable for you. Ease the right knee further away from your chest, unassisted. So it's more of an active stretch than passive. For the last couple of breaths, you'd like to take the hands behind the hamstrings if they weren't already there and extend the leg up towards the ceiling. Give yourself a moment to straighten the leg. Press up through the heel, point your toe. Alternate between both positions. And then slowly bend your knee. Set the foot back down onto the mat. Keep your ankle where it is. Heel toe the left foot to the left side of your sticky mat and drop the knees to the right. Arms can come into that cactus shape. If that's too much in your shoulder, Miss Kelly, please feel free to take that hand with the shoulder bothering you and resting it on your belly to soften there. Inhale, lift the legs, readjust so the feet are now back to hip distance on your mat. Left ankle over right knee. Inhale, knees into the chest, thread the left hand through the opening. Again, hang on to the hamstrings or around the shin. We can readjust when we straighten the leg. And then work the left knee further away from you. Try not to use the left elbow, but start to find an active stretch here. As you're ready, stick the right leg up towards the ceiling, press through the heel, point your foot. Keep the right leg pushing in towards the hand so you feel some tension in the hamstrings. Bend your right knee, release the foot to the right side of your sticky mat, and drop the knees to the left. If the left ankle across the knee is too much, always feel free to take the foot down below the knee. Should have said that on the other side. My apologies. Inhale, lift the legs, release your feet. Gently roll to your right side. You can straighten the right arm up and use it as a pillow. Breath there. Push into your hands and slowly come up and find your way to the tabletop position. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And briefly, let's have a discussion about how the hands should connect with your mat. Oftentimes, even in a tabletop position, my wrist can become tired if I get sloppy here. So I need to remember to contact with the heel of the hand into the mat, but then shift my weight forward to find the knuckles at the palms of my hands, often where we get calluses. Place the hands down into there, and then shift the weight even more forward to find the pads of the fingertips. Straighten the arms, allow the shoulders to push away from the floor and keep that, maintain that. You'll get a good wrist stretch and you'll start to put the weight in towards the second finger and thumb. Pull your belly in a neutral tabletop, 3 rounds of cat and cow. As you inhale, press the belly down, look up to the ceiling. Exhale, round the upper back, draw the tailbone towards your face. Inhale, move into cow. Keep the hands working. Stretch through the wrists. Exhale, round your upper back. Inhale one more time. Find your cow. Exhale into cat. Neutral tabletop, flat back. Lean gently to the left and inhale. Float the right arm up and out. Reach for the ceiling. Exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left and bring your right temple to the floor. If the floor is awfully far away from you, grab a block and set your right temple down onto your block. Left hand is firm into the ground. Point your left elbow up to the sky. Press down through the right arm and into the right shoulder. On an inhale, push into the left hand. Float your right arm up to the ceiling. Counter stretch into the chest. And exhale, right hand comes down. Find a moment there, and then on an inhale, lift the left arm up and out. Exhale, left arm under right. Left temple can find the block or to the floor. Find the activation in the right hand. Set up the same way we did in our tabletop. Elbow presses up, and use the leverage of the hand to gently roll to the left a little bit more, deepening your stretch. Push into your right hand and inhale all the way back up. Lift the left arm. And exhale, left hand comes down. If you had a block on your mat, set it off to the side. Walk your hands a couple of inches forward, the knees about 4 to 6 inches back. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back, and we'll find a downward facing dog. Feel free, if down dog is not always the most comfortable position for you, to shorten your stance or to generously bend your knees and soften the stretch in the hamstrings, taking some of the intensity out. And concentrate on what is touching the earth. So find that hand set up, pushing down into the hands, and lift your hips up, imagining dropping your heels down towards the floor, even with the knees bent. Last breath or two here. On an inhale, send the right foot forward between the hands. Set the left knee down. Bring your hands up to your knees and look at your position. Is your knee over your ankle? Is it in front of your ankle? If it is, then please slide your left leg further back on the mat until it is over your ankle. Curl your left toes under or keep the toes flat. Lift the arms up. Draw your chest back, belly back. Sink the shoulders away from the ears. Allow the hips to move down and forward. Right hand to your hip. Push the right hip down, lift up with the left hand, and stretch over to the right. Lift your chest up and open to the sky. Look at your left hand. And then inhale, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, hands down around the right foot. Lift your left knee and step the right foot up to meet the left. Left foot up to meet the right. I don't know what I just said. Inhale, hands to shins. Press your hands into your shins. Lift your shoulder blades up until you feel as if your spine is flat. Try and take a moment to feel how straight and controlled you can make your spine, even out the sides. Pull your belly in and fold. Fingers can dangle towards the floor. You can bend your knees as much as needed. Push into the feet. Arms come out to the side and up overhead. Hold on to the left wrist, pull up, and side stretch to your right. Press down into the right foot and lengthen the left side by continuing to pull up on that hand and over to your right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Arms out to the side as you come on down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands down. Step the right foot back. Find your low lunge, other side. You can have the right toes curled under or flat, entirely up to you. Lift the arms overhead as you're ready. Keep moving the left hip back. Sink down and forward with the hips. Try and notice where your chest is over the pelvis. Keep the chest drawing back. Left hand to your hip. Lift up with the right hand and over to the left. Inhale, lift both arms up. Exhale, hands down around your foot and step back to downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Settle your mind, your body. Feeling any difference as we slowly start to move? Let's shift forward into plank pose. Bring your knees to the mat and slowly push up down to your belly. Keep your hands next to the ribs. You can look to the right and make sure the wrist is under your elbow. Then look to your left, make sure that left wrist is under your elbow, and push the elbow straight back, broadening across the collarbones. Push into all 10 toes, keep that connection, and peel your chest an inch or two forward and up. As you exhale, come on down with the chest. 2 more. Each time, go a little bit higher. Inhale, pull the chest forward, pull the elbows back and curl. Exhale to release. Inhale, lift, pull the heart forward, shoulders back. Exhale, come on down. Press up into a tabletop position and find your downward facing dog. Looking forward, step as many times as you need to bring the hands up to meet the feet. Oh, good Lord, the feet to meet the hands. Inhale, halfway. Exhale and bow. Come all the way on up to stand. Hold on to your right wrist and stretch over your left. I bet you guys forgot I forgot. I didn't forget that. I forgot something else, but we'll get back to it. Press into the right foot, lift up and stretch. Inhale back to center. Exhale, float your arms on down to the sides. Take a breath here in your mountain pose. Find your heels. Push down into the center of your heel to lift the legs. Lift and spread all 10 toes. Press into the ball mound of the big toe and the pinky toe. Noticing the arches pull up and in. You can keep your toes lifted or release them down. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees if needed. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, palms down, step to plank. We'll continue with our modified chaturanga this evening, so bring the knees down to the floor and then elbows press back as we bring the chest down to the floor. Inhale up into cobra pose, push into the palms, pull the chest forward, shoulders back. Curl the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Slow, steady inhales. If there's any movement or fidgeting you need to do here, welcome that. Give yourself time to build stamina and endurance for this position. Embrace the fidgeting, and then work over time to slow it down and hold this comfortably. When you're ready, look forward as you inhale. Step forward to find your halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, belly in and bow. Inhale, push into the feet, come all the way up, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, arms come down to the sides. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands down. Step back to your plank pose. Push into the hands. Set the knees down and then lower your chest to the floor. Inhale, cobra pose. Press the hips down, lift the chest. Exhale, hips up and back, downward dog. Move at your own speed and rhythm. Follow the length of your breath. When you're ready, look forward and step on up to the top of the mat into your halfway lift. Hands to shins. Exhale, belly in and bow. Inhale, arms out to the side or forward and up. And exhale, arms come down to your sides. One more time. Inhale, lift, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, hands to shins. Exhale, palms down, step back into plank kasana, the plank pose. Lower the knees down as we pass through modified chaturanga dandasana. Then inhale up, cobra pose or bhujangasana. Exhale, curl the toes, lift the hips, Adho Mukha Svanasana. From here on out, you are welcome to skip any vinyasas offered. There won't be too many more this evening. If at any point you need to come out of a down dog and find a child's pose, please Feel free to follow what your body is asking you to do. Remember, above all else, that this is your practice. I'm just here to guide you through. As you're ready, we'll finish these salutations together. Look forward, inhale, step forward into your halfway lift. Exhale and bow. Inhale, rise all the way on up. And release the arms to your sides. Beautiful. Let's practice balancing on our left foot. Bring your hands to your hips. Push your hips down with your hands. Keep that connection and then lift your left thigh. Suck it up away from the floor. Lean into the left foot and lift the right knee up into the chest. Press down into the left heel. Lift the right knee up a little higher. Keep the chest lifting. And for the last breath or two, lift the arms overhead, growing your one-legged mountain pose. Don't lose the connection in the heel of the foot in the ball mound. Inhale, release the leg down and the arms to your sides. Try it again on the other side, hands to hips, lean to the right foot, pick the left knee up, flex your left foot to keep the leg active. And then find the heel, the ball mound, lift your chest, belly in. Lift the arms overhead. Inhale, let the leg come down and the arms to your sides. You can close your eyes for a moment just to feel your balance come back together. I was a little wobbly on my right side, so find a little more equilibrium. Then as you're ready, inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands down. Step the left foot to the back of your mat. Bring the knee down. One more low lunge. Lift the arms overhead. Pull the right hip back. Lift up through the fingers and pull the shoulder blades down the back. Keep squeezing the inner thighs together. Exhale, take the hands down around your right leg, half splits. Straighten out your right leg by moving the hips up and back. Try not to drop your tushy to the left foot, but keep it lifted. Draw the toes of the right foot to your face. And then feel how you can move your hips back away from your right foot and then pull your chest forward and down the right leg. Notice these dual actions that the pelvis and the chest take. They're always in this tug of war and trying to chase each other to find some balance to lengthen the spine here. As you're ready, inhale, shift the weight forward, plant down through the right foot, and let's step back to downward facing dog. Take a round of breath here. Carefully step the left foot forward, right knee down to the floor, and find your low lunge. Lift the arms. Concentrate on the stretch in the front of the right thigh. Feeling rectus femoris, fire up the quadricep that attaches to the hip. Last couple of breaths here. On an exhale, take the hands down, frame your foot, and then walk your hands back, move your hips back, straighten out the left leg. Keep your butt up nice and high, and then try and move your butt back to the place behind you, and your chest, your sternum, straight forward and down the leg. Look at your toes. Try and bring your eyes to your toes. On an inhale, shift the weight forward, plant down through the foot, lift the right knee, and step forward to meet the hands. Oh, I said it right that time. Inhale, halfway. Exhale and fold. Little bend in the knees, come all the way on up to stand, reach the arms up overhead, and exhale, hands come on down. All right, so let's work now balancing on one leg and then stepping the foot back into a high lunge. This does not have to be in a big exaggerated movement. Again, it's this idea of trying to feel where we are in space and how we set ourselves up on our mat. So let's start on our right foot, hands on the hips. Lift the chest, belly in, lean to the right, and lift your left leg. To step back, keep your chest lifted and send the left leg straight back, toes curled under for a high lunge. Keep your hands on your hips. Find the balance in your feet. Push down into the heel, hug the right heel towards the left leg. Now lean forward into the right foot, Step the left foot in and bring the knee back in and up. Carefully send the left foot back, maybe a little longer of a stance that time. Push into the feet as you inhale. One more time, pull the knee into the chest. And then exhale, carefully send that foot back. Lift your arms overhead, hold your high lunge here. Belly in, chest back. Keep squeezing the inner thighs together. Left arm forward, right arm back, take a twist. Notice that scissoring action of the legs as we twist our chest to the right. Inhale, both arms back overhead, move with control. Exhale, hands frame your foot and straighten your right leg for a wide pyramid pose. If you need blocks at any point with these types of positions, please feel free to take a moment and bring the ground to you by placing your hands on the blocks. Try and square your chest over the right leg and drop it down. Bend back into your right knee, step the left foot forward to meet the right. Inhale halfway, exhale and bow. Come all the way on up to stand and release the arms to your side. Same thing, other side, hands on the hips, lean to the left foot, lifts the right knee up and into the chest. Keep the core in tight, left thigh hugs to the bone. Send the right foot back into a shorter high lunge. Move slowly to find your stance. Then lean forward, push into the left foot, step the right foot in and up. Exhale, send the right foot back, maybe a little longer stance. Now we know where our foot is going. And then lean forward, step the right knee in and up. And send it back, hold it there. Arms come up overhead when you feel confident with the feet. Maintain your balance, squeeze the thighs together, pull the left heel back, lift the right inner thigh. Right arm forward, left arm twists back. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, take the hands down. Straighten your left leg by moving the hips up and back. Keep your chest pulling forward and down the leg. Move the hips away from the chest. Bend back into the left knee. Step the right foot to meet the left. Inhale, halfway. Exhale and bow. Come all the way on up to stand, arms reach up, and exhale, hands to your sides. The tree pose. I do love a good tree pose. So, standing on our right foot, hands to your hips. Option 1, heel to your right ankle. Option 2, foot to the calf. Our hips have not necessarily been super duper warmed up as of yet. So if this is better for you right now, then take this. If you'd like to bring your foot into the inner right thigh, you are welcome to do so. Find your balance. Find the center of your right heel, the right big toe. Push them down, lift the right thigh, belly in. Hands can come in front of your heart. You can lift the arms up overhead. Inhale, lift the left knee forward and up. Exhale, release everything on down. Lean into the left foot, hands to the hips. The heel can go to the left ankle, the foot to the calf, or the foot into the inner thigh. There is no gold star if you can bring your foot up higher. Take this to where is best for your hips right now. Hands in front of the heart or arms go overhead. Concentrate on what's touching the floor. Find the center of your heel. Lift up away from the ground. Inhale, right knee comes forward. Exhale, release it all down to the floor. Inhale, lift your arms on up. Exhale, take a bow. Inhale, halfway. Exhale and fold. Sink your hips, find a chair pose. As you move your hips back, lift the arms. You all had to know I was going to say chair pose at some point. Pull your belly in, lift your chest straight up. Reach up through the fingers, but don't pull your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, straighten the legs and forward fold. Take the hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, press the knuckles in near the low back, and then lift the arms up overhead. Try not to squeeze the shoulder blades super close together. Just feel the arms working. Hug the elbows in. And then carefully bend your knees, sit back, bound chair pose. Lift your chest, look up. Exhale, fold, release the arms. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Keep the right foot forward. Send the left foot back as if you were going to come into a high lunge, but then set the left heel down and turn the toes forward to about a 45-degree angle. Bend the right knee forward and come up, warrior one. Keep the feet hip distance. You're allowed to widen your stance by stepping the left foot to the left, but not the right foot. We want this leg straight in front of the hip. Take the hands behind the back, right thumb on top. Stretch the knuckles down, lift through the chest. As you exhale, bow the chest forward. The shoulder can rest on the right thigh, or you can take the right shoulder inside the right knee for a little bit more of a hip stretch. Keep pressing the hips back in your warrior one stance. Pull your chest forward and down. Inhale, lift your chest all the way on up, finding warrior one. Lift the arms overhead. Exhale, straighten your right leg, hands to your hips. Step the left foot in a foot and to the left a foot. Keep the hips squared, pull the belly in and twist your chest over the right leg. As we exhale, press the hips back, pull the chest forward, and then slowly fold down your right leg. Always feel free to take blocks, setting yourself up in a higher position. I'd rather have a straight spine, moving the hips back and the chest down, than trying to round your back and collapse. Try not to lose the integrity of the pose, just to go deeper. Inhale, lift up halfway onto your fingertips, make space, bend the right knee, step back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, forward into plank. If you'd like a vinyasa with me, bring the knees down and lower to your belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Same thing, other side. Take the left foot forward between the hands. Right foot stays, well, as close to hip distance as possible, and turn the foot in about a 45-degree angle. Lift the arms overhead. Keep the chest moving back towards the right foot and then bend forward with the right knee. Twist your chest one more time towards the left leg. Interlace your hands behind the back, left thumb on top, stretch the knuckles down, lift through your chest. Exhale, lean forward, left shoulder to your thigh or inside the thigh. Turn the head towards your left ankle. Try not to move your hips out to the left. Keep them in your warrior one position. Inhale, lift all the way up, push into the feet, release the arms overhead. Exhale, straighten the left leg, step the right foot in and to the right a foot, hug the left hip back, right hip forward. Exhale, reach the hips back as you bring the chest down over the leg. Hands can release to your blocks or to the floor. Inhale, lift up onto your fingertips, bend your knee, and step back to your downward facing dog. Take a breath here. We'll look forward and inhale to the top of the mat into your halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow. One more time, chair pose, because I love to say chair pose. Lift the arms up overhead, sit back, lift your chest. Exhale, arms to the side as you come to stand. Okay, let's put a few things together now, and we'll practice balancing on our left foot first. Bring your hands to your hips. Just try and follow along, move slow. Lift your right knee up and into your chest. As you exhale, right leg out to the right. Stand up tall with the left leg. Keep the left hip hugging back. Reach down with the right hand, slide it down inside your foot, and settle it in for a tree pose. If you need to drop the foot, go for it. Take the arms overhead. Inhale, right knee forward. Exhale, foot to the floor, arms to your side. Hands to the hip, balancing on the right foot. Lift the left knee. Exhale, left knee out to the left. Oh no, I can't balance on my right. Slide the left hand down inside the leg. Hold on to the foot to pull it into your tree. Settle the foot lower wherever your hip needs you to take this. Bring the arms overhead. Inhale, left knee forward. Exhale, release everything down. From the top of the mat, let's have our right foot forward, step the left foot back into a warrior two position. Make sure that left foot, the heel presses back and you start to rotate your left toes in slightly. You can have the foot parallel, but work to hug that left hip slightly forward so the right hip can move back and make space for both joints. Bring the arms up and out, lean to the left, bend into the right knee. Couple of breaths here. Inhale, flip your right palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Left hand down, left leg. Inhale, forward warrior two. Exhale, right forearm across your thigh. Left arm comes forward and up over your ear. Try to take the back bend out of this shape. Pull the belly in to fill out the low back. Pull your chest forward away from the hips. Inhale up to warrior two. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Right foot parallel to left as you turn to face the long side of your mat. Then warrior two to the back of the mat. I'm going to turn so that I'm going to face forward towards you so you can still see what I'm doing if need be, but you may face away from me. Turn around, look at me if you need to. Bend into your warrior two. That wasn't as well planned as I thought on Zoom, Sandy. Lean to the right. Inhale, flip your left palm. Exhale, right hand to right knee. Lift the left arm up and overhead. Inhale, forward warrior two. Exhale, left forearm across your thigh. Right arm comes forward. Pull the belly in. Lower your tailbone towards the floor so you feel the low back start to fill out. Inhale up to warrior two. Exhale, straighten your left leg. Make the feet parallel towards each other, hands to hips. Point your toes to the upper corners of your mat, still facing the sides, and bend into your knees. Allow the knees to press out over the ankles. Take the arms up into a cactus shape. Drop your hips one more inch. Keep your chest lifted. Point your tailbone down. As you exhale, come up to stand. Arms reach up, star pose. Exhale, arms to your side, and step to the top of your mat. Awesome. Okay, so we'll work again on our stepping back and balancing, but this time I want us to pass through a warrior three. So it'll be the same kind of action as when we stepped back, but this time I want us to think about keeping the chest long and lifted, if I can do it. And then lean forward as you move your hips back and press the foot back into space. Then bend the knee and set down. So we'll move a little more methodically and pass through another posture here. So come up to stand, feet hip distance, hands on your hips. Lean to the right, push into the right foot, and then carefully lift the left knee up in front of you. Keep the hands on your hips or take the hands in front of your heart. Keep the chest straight. Now lean forward, pivoting at the hip joint, and send the chest parallel to the floor as you lift the left leg up and back. Roll the left hip point down, Little bend into your right knee as you carefully set the left foot to the back of the mat. Lift the arms overhead, high lunge. Hands come back down, or if you're feeling a little ambitious, leave the arms overhead as we go back through warrior three. Lean into the right foot. Keep the chest long, but hinge at the hip joint. Step the left foot in, lean the chest forward, become a capital T, lift the left leg, press into that right heel. Come up to stand, push into that right foot, left knee into the chest. Ooh, and exhale, release everything down. It's a lot of work in the right leg. Shake it out. Take a moment. And then when you're ready, meet me at the top of the mat, balancing on the left foot. Lift the right knee. Find your balance. Keep your mind quiet and calm. The hands can come in front of the heart. Keep your chest long as you stretch it forward and push the right foot through the space behind you. Little bend in the left knee, and you set the right foot to the back of the mat. Arms come overhead. Arms can stay lifted, or you can bring the hands in front of your heart. Hinge at the hip, step the right foot in, and then pivot the chest forward, lift the right leg, roll the right hip down, and find warrior three one more time. Come up to stand with the knee into the chest. You can tap the foot or skip it. Inhale and exhale, let it all go. Nice. Take a round of breath, hands in front of your heart, Samasthiti. Exhale, arms to your side. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands down. Step to downward facing dog. All right, Sandy, I apologize in advance. Pigeon pose, right knee forward. If there's a different variation that you would like to take, you're welcome to do so. If you need a block to support your right hip, then settle the block underneath your right butt and keep your hips squared. If your hip is tight, I highly recommend bringing the shin in at more of an angle and pointing your foot, then hugging the hip back. This could soften the stretch in the knee. Or if you have more open hips, work to bring the right shin more parallel and flex the foot. Fold gently forward, resting on the forearms on a block. If you need to come onto your back, please feel free to do so. If you do come onto your back, wave at me and I'll give you a modification. Walk your hands in under your shoulders, lift the chest, curl your left toes under, and nice and easy, slide the right leg along the mat to step back into downward facing dog. I wish I could say this is the last down dog, but it might not be. Bring the left knee forward behind the wrist. Only say that because we haven't done our peak pose yet. Set up your left leg. We're almost there. And then fold down. Few breaths here. Remember, set up that leg mindfully. Try and notice what your right leg is doing. Where are your right toes pointing? Can you point them straight back? We would like to avoid the sickle. It's a bad word in yoga. Don't allow your right toes to roll inward so you feel the ankle pressing out to the side. Have the ankle stacked perfectly in line with your shin bone. Well, parallel. I don't know. Walk your hands in under your shoulders. Drop your left hip down to the floor. Hold onto your right leg and wiggle that thing up in front. Bring the legs out in front of you. And I forgot to do this way back when I made that big deal about having your strap next to you. So please come onto your back. Grab your strap. We need to do this. It's the precursor to our peak pose. So have your strap in your hands. Bend your right knee. Take the strap around your right foot, close to the ball mound, or I know Sandy prefers to have it close to the heel. I like to take it towards the ball mound. So straighten your right leg on up, little bend in the right knee. And hold both tail ends in your right hand. Bring the right arm straight up towards your right foot. Left hand on your left thigh. Push the left hand down and connect the left butt cheek straight down into the floor. Don't let that leg or hip come up off the floor. Press up through the right heel. Active with the left foot, flex the toes up to the ceiling. Don't muscle anything with that right arm just so you feel like you can get your foot closer to your face. All right, inhale. Exhale, slowly bring the right leg out towards the floor, trying to, instead of just bringing it straight out to the right, bringing it a little bit up towards, I guess that would be 11 o'clock for me. I think I'm more like 10 o'clock. Working towards there. Drop that left hip down more. Let the right leg relift. That connection with the left hip helps you open up with the inner thigh muscles, your adductor group. You'll start to stretch into pectineus a little bit more. Inhale, lift the right leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend your knee, release your foot from the strap and straighten the right leg out. Bring the left knee into the chest, take the strap around your right foot. Hold the tails with your left hand, right hand settles down onto your right thigh, straight arm. Lift the left leg, flex both feet, bend your knee however much you need to. Inhale, exhale, slowly start to bring that left leg out to the side, but stop if you feel that right hip start to come up. Relift the left leg, connect the right hip down, and then try to take the left leg out a little bit further. Again, imagine your head is like 12 o'clock and see if you can bring that left leg out more towards 2 o'clock than 3 o'clock. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, bend the knee, take the strap off the foot and set the strap to the side. Bring both knees into the chest, gently rock right and left. And then roll to your right side, find a pillow. We get to do this 3 times tonight. Wow, that's a lot. Press down, lift yourself up, find tabletop. See, I knew it. We have another down dog. Step back to your downward facing dog. Looking forward, step your feet up to meet your hands. Hands to hips, bend your knees, come up to stand, and don't lift your arms. Just let them come down to your sides. I know it's really hard and weird. Shake it out, and then grab your strap. Your strap is your best friend here. We will do, that was Supta Padangusthasana. Now we will do Utthita Asta Padangusthasana, and we'll use our strap to do so. Now, my rule when doing this pose is to try to take your hand as close to your foot. Now, I always like to set up from the floor, like so, hand on my hip. I pull my knee into my chest, like we've done this before. Now, if you feel like your hand is too close to your foot, it is okay to give yourself more slack, but you want to avoid this, all right? If you are compensating to get that leg straight, then what's more important is keeping the knee bent. I would rather you stand up as straight and strong as humanly possible, even if that means you stay here the entire time and you go like that. Cool? We want to open up into the outer hip and we want to keep the spine long. So when you're ready, take the strap around the right foot, bend down and take both tails into the right hand, left hand on your hip. Push into the left foot, meet me with your knee bent, coming up to stand. Once you find your balance, start to straighten your right leg and see how your hamstrings are doing, how far will they let you go. Keep your left hand on your hip as an anchor point. Push the hip down as a reminder to keep that left leg stable. Inhale, exhale, take the right leg out to the right. It's okay if your leg is at like 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock here. Oh my gosh, my balance is terrible. I must need dinner. Inhale, leg back to center. Exhale, bend your knee and free yourself. Shake it out. Take the strap around your left foot. Hold the strap as close to your foot as you can, and then readjust once you come up to stand. Push into the right foot. Find your balance, and then straighten your left leg. 4 breaths here about. I can't balance. As you exhale, take the left leg out to the left. Inhale, leg back to center. Exhale, bend the knee and set it on down. Shake it out. Okay, we'll vinyasa to the floor and start cooling down. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands down, step 2. Your last down dog. I finally get to say it. Inhale here. Exhale, bring your knees to the mat. Swing your legs out to the side and come back down into a seat. Take your legs out in front of you for the staff pose. Hands come next to your hips. Press your heels of your hands down, the knuckles, the pads, the fingertips, and lift your chest straight up. Walk your hands a palm print forward at a time. When you feel your spine start to round, then you want to walk your hands back in and stop there. This will be your seated forward fold. Think about lifting your chest straight up. Sit back into the hips, and then try and walk your hands a little more forward. The arms should be soft and loose. Keep the legs down as you let the chest gently come forward. You don't have to go far to be in a forward fold. My husband is very tight and he has to stay in staff pose. He can't exceed this. When you're ready, walk your hands back up. Bring the soles of the feet in towards one another and find the edges of the feet together. Start to encourage the soles of the feet to open up, taking the toes away from one another. And drop the shins down and forward. You can even take your hands to your shins and roll your shins forward and down. And the hands to the thighs, rolling the thighs back and down. Energetically working the knees a little bit closer to the floor as the soles of the feet open to the sky. Lift up with straight arms. Exhale, lean forward again, just like we were doing. Don't feel as if you have to go super far. It's important to keep the spine straight. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hands outside the knees to help the legs together. Re-straighten them. One more forward fold. Bring the legs apart. Flex the feet, point the toes straight up. Take the hands behind you on the back to support you. Lift your chest, but don't let your tailbone come up. Keep that down. You can stay right here. You can bring your hands in front of you, gently crawling them slightly forward. If you feel like your sitting bones or your tailbone come up, then stop there, keeping the palms active. Playing with the pose, the hands can come forward, keeping the chest long, hips down. Walking the hands back in. Again, bring the hands outside the knees to help the legs come in together, and then lower down onto your back. Bringing the knees into the chest, wrap your arms around your shins, give yourself a hug. Bringing the arms out into a cactus shape, we'll windshield wiper with the breath into a supine twist. So as you exhale, drop the knees over to the right. As you inhale, lift the knees into the chest, and exhale, knees over to the left. Do that 2 more times each side. Inhale, lift the knees to the chest. Exhale, knees over to the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left. Inhale, lift. Exhale to the right and hold. Inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, knees to the left. Inhale, lift the knees, and exhale, straighten the legs out long. Working towards Shavasana. We'll have about 4 minutes here to rest, quiet the mind, and restore. Just like we were doing in the beginning of class, as we settle into this shape, do a gentle body scan and notice, do you remember how the feet, how the hips, the shoulders felt in the beginning of class? Does anything feel a little bit more open, easier to settle onto the mat? Resist the urge to fidget or think about what you have left to do in the day. Grant yourself permission to have these few minutes for yourself. Be completely still and enjoy this time embracing Shavasana. When you begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, gently rock your head side to side. Make any other small movements to slowly start to reawaken the body. As you feel ready, take the arms overhead. Enjoy a nice long stretch. Reach the arms away, point the toes, and flex your feet. Guide the knees into the chest. Give yourself one last hug, wrapping the arms around your shins and rocking right and left to massage the low back. In your own time, roll to your right, rest in the fetal position, enjoying a breath or two there. Push into your hands and come on up to a seated pose, sitting nice and tall, hands together in front of your heart. Eyes closed, taking a moment of gratitude. I'd like to thank you all very much for joining me this evening. It was a pleasure to teach the Smiths in the Johnson section and to have Amy here, who is very quickly becoming an important student here at the studio, and we're very excited to have her. I hope that we all get to be together again very soon. The light in me honors the light in all of you. Namaste. If you have any questions or concerns, we can unmute ourselves now and chat. Love to hear about how you did. My balance was not great tonight. For someone who was inspired to have a balancing class, that was a struggle. Plus stepping my hands to meet my feet and my feet to meet my hands. That was a struggle too.